Hi there, this is Joe from Havian. In this video I'm going to go through the main changes that we've made to the Havian Project Manager over the course of the summer 2023 that specifically relate to site surveys. We've made some changes to how you add resources to a project now. So instead of right-clicking on these main category headings, you just use these plus buttons. So for example, if we want to add a crew, click plus, select the category, and continue as usual. We've made some changes as well to how we deal with crews and personnel. So just like usual, you say how many hours per day each crew member is going to be working, and you've also got this option here, track crew. So we've got two options here. We either track just a simple number of people that we have on board, or we can track the individual people. So I'm going to show you that one, persons on board. And you use this option if you want to report the true names and roles of all of the people who are currently on board, and you want to show that in your reports. We have an option under personnel to either add an individual person, or you can add multiple people using a CSV file. I'm going to show you person first. So this is where you could manually start entering everyone's name, maybe an ID, a nationality. We have this new field of rotation, which is if you have multiple crews and you want to make it easier to, for example, embark everyone on rotation A, then disembark everyone on rotation A, and embark everyone on rotation B. You've got this new field of a role, which is just a free text field where you can type anything you want. It's going to appear as their role in the reports. And if they are a key person, such as the captain or the party chief or the client rep, you can assign them using this key person role there. Adding lots of people using a CSV file is pretty straightforward. You can create your CSV file using something like Excel spreadsheet, and you can export it as a CSV file. Select it, and here you just have to assign, this is a preview of your file, you just have to assign each column to what data is in it. So this is the first name. I can see that this column has automatically been picked up as being the last name, but you could select whatever it was. And we've got nationality. There's some options here for if you want to select only parts of the file. And then if you want to assign everyone to a crew that you have already set up in Havian, and maybe want to say that everyone is on rotation A. So you see everyone now has been imported. We go to crew hours, and we do a starting crew today. We have this big crew list here that we can choose people that we want to embark on this day. We can select all, we can select just one of the rotations, and that's it. You've embarked the 20 people at a certain time. We've also made some changes to the timing area. So you'll notice when we do the click to add entry button, you've now got a lot more options. We've got the usual automatically generated timing from the production options. So if we select the all production today, we're going to get these three events created, and this is based on what was in our production log. Previously you had no control about what category was created. If you don't want this category, which in this instance was just the regular prime acquisition category, you could change it to something else, maybe lump sum operation UXO, and you are prompted to say this entry was default created by the timing generator. Would you like to use UXO as the new one? So we say yes, and then when we regenerate all the production for today, it's just saying it's going to overwrite what's there. They're all going to be created as UXO survey. Similarly, if we want to change it back, we just change it back to prime, and we regenerate. You'll notice this view has changed a little bit, so there's a bit of a visual refresh. If you change between the two different display types, list and day, you see how you've got these two different views, and you can see that we're missing our line changes here, so we can add those just like this. And then we can go back to list if we want. You'll see that we've also got some options under the Click to Add Entry button for importing from the Havian log, which we always had before, but it wasn't under this menu. And that's when you want to copy from somebody else who's already done the logging of the day. Maybe it's the contractor, maybe it's the client, but you can export out of the Havian and then import it into another project. But then CSV file is now a new option where you can import just any generic file. Maybe the contractor has produced the timing already in an Excel spreadsheet and you want to just save time and import that. So just click CSV file, select your file, whatever format it is, and you're going to get a preview like this. The main thing to get your head around is the category code assignment. So you say what column represents the category code, or it could just be the category description. But something from the Excel file which says what category this is going to be. And then you have to assign here. So AQN, it's found this string of letters, AQN, as a category code. And you're seeing that here. We need to assign that to a certain category. So whatever it finds in AQN, we're going to call that prime in our database. Source DT, we're going to assign that to downtime source, that's one of our categories, and LCH we can assign to line change, prime line change. And so that's all of those categories that it found have been assigned to our categories. Now we just have to assign to say this is the start time, the start date, this is the end time and the end date of all of these, and this is the comment field. And so if we now click OK, it's going to import all of this into our project. And now for the production log. You can see that we've split up the various production logs in the main menu now. Instead of selecting above here next to the survey vessel, you actually just select from the main menu the different types of log. So the geophysical survey log, you see we simplified this by removing the whole left-hand segment, which was the operations selector, and instead just put all of these line segments from all of the operations just into a single list here. So it's much more straightforward. And then instead you can select the operation number on the actual line segment itself. All of the columns are now adjustable to your project, your computer, and we've managed to get everything onto a single line, which makes everything a lot more readable and easier to scan. To do this, we've had to separate out our line summary, what we're calling our line summary area, with our QC summary area. Now the line summary is where you add new lines and you select the line number and input everything like start and end dates and times and start kilometers and the status of the line. We've made some changes to what we're now calling format of a line. Prime, infill and rerun are now the options. Before, rerun was in its own separate field, but now it's included at the same level as prime and infill. The status now includes a couple of extras, which are requires infill and a rerun candidate. The QC summary includes columns now for the fix. So you can do the fix for start of line, fix end of line, and these are just manual entries that you can type in, and they're going to be visible on your reports. We've got some fields for adding wind speed and direction, wave direction and wave height. And then we have these traffic light toggle buttons for each of the sensors on every single line segment. We can either have green for good, yellow for acceptable, or red for bad. And if we go to the progress maps and we have a look at, for example, the side scan sonar progress map, we see we have this bad line, and on the multi-beam map, this one is acceptable. We also have maps for the line status, obviously, whether it's complete or incomplete, or requires rerun, for example, and the line format here, prime, infill or rerun. And finally, we have some new report blocks to reflect the changes to our production logs. We have the usual production listing report block, And we have this new QC listing, which is giving you the fixes that we've entered. It's giving you the sensor breakdown with the traffic lights, and there's a little legend at the top of this to indicate which sensor is which column. And we've got the weather and any comments that were entered into that part of the log there. If we scroll down, we've got a few different types of map available. Again, the line status map, again showing you whether this is a rerun candidate, complete, or requires infill. And then you can also include these maps of individual sensors, like for example side scan sonar, and show what the traffic light was for each of the sensors individually. So that wraps up the changes that we've made to the Havian Project Manager in relation to site surveys over the course of the last few months in response to feedback that we've had. If you've got any feedback, if you don't like something that we've done or you do like something that we've done, please get in touch and let us know. Thank you.